Jim, as an international security expert, what do you make of this big oops?
Well, Kelly, I've actually had opinions about this for a while. First, when the Japanese started doing drills, and then when Hawaii announced that they were going to do drills, I never thought this was a very good idea. Now, the U.S. used to have civil defense.
Why was it not a good idea?
Because there's no defense against a nuclear weapon. You know, as your last report suggested, laying down on the ground is not going to do anything to prevent you from being killed by a nuclear weapon. We used to have a big civil defense program in the U.S. We abandoned it because it just didn't make any sense because there was no defense against nuclear weapons. And there are consequences when you do have civil defense. You know, hopefully everyone in Hawaii is going to get through this fine, but there may be people who have health emergencies as a result of this. There may be people who suffer psychological injury, you know, children or expectant mothers or those with pre-existing mental health conditions. I mean, there are real consequences to scaring the hell out of people, and I just don't think it's going to matter. I mean, if there was a nuclear attack, there's nothing Hawaiians could do that would change that outcome.
All right, so what can Hawaiians do, for that matter, as we heard from Phil Keating? What can people in Alaska, California, Oregon, Washington, all of those places that would be within range of any kind of potential attack or possible attack, as we've heard from the threatening regime of North Korea?
Yeah, there's nothing you can do. I mean, that's I know that's a message people don't want to hear, but that has been true since the beginning of the nuclear age.
Well, let me back that up. What can we do?
Had 20,000
let me interrupt you 1 minute. Let me interrupt you 1 minute, Jim.
You know, they're so explosive on a scale that people don't appreciate. You know, look at those pictures from Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Jim, I get that.
So this is just a different order of magnitude.
Okay, Jim, I understand exactly what you're saying about a nuclear attack. My point is, my question is, what should the United States be doing right now to prevent the nuclear buildup that we know is taking place in North Korea?
And that's the million-dollar question. You know, right now we're in a hopeful phase because things have paused because of the Olympics. Maybe that will carry momentum forward, maybe not. But the biggest way to protect ourselves is to make sure that we freeze North Korea's program so it doesn't grow any larger. It's not, you know, and more accurate and sophisticated, and then begin a process of trying to put constraints and rolling it back. But job one is to pause and then freeze, and then try to put this on a different track. But one, you know, it's the lesson in the nuclear age that people find really, really hard to accept. For millennia, we always were able to rely on defenses to protect ourselves. But in the nuclear age, the weapons are so powerful, you have to use other ways. You have to use deterrence, and you have to use diplomacy because there is no defense.